welcome back. Well, it is almost time, getting so close for students to go back to the classroom.
So fast.
Yes, and it means, of course, school shopping and supply lists and all of that are going to be top of mind.
Yep, a recent CNET survey found parents will spend an average of $662 on back-to-school shopping this year. So joining us now to talk more about the cost and how to save is CNET Money editor Daisha Milden, who's also a mother buying supplies. Good morning, Daisha. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You know, $662, it's a pretty large amount. So how does that this year's average for school supplies stack up to previous years? And is this per kid, or are we talking just on average for any family?
Great question. So our survey doesn't quite dive into whether or not it's by kid or by grade level even, but what we do know is that this is for parents and even teachers, people that are buying back to school supplies all together. So that may include a loved one, that may even include friends. So they're all preparing for this big time of year. When we really start looking at what this number looks like compared to last year, based on our research, a Statistica survey showed that $890 was the average last year. So we're definitely lower than where we were. And even looking back from 2022, that's still 3% higher. So definitely we're seeing that it's lower than where we were in the past. We're seeing that parents are definitely cutting back. They're shopping those sales. So definitely making sure that we're lower than where we were in the previous years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, most things are more expensive. So we'd love to know what are some of the most expensive items and how families are saving some money on those things.
Yeah, when we start looking at the most expensive item, we think about where kids are right now, less on the pen and paper. We're seeing that even thinking about technology is a big one nowadays. I even know for my kids, we're buying headphones instead of packs of paper, which is wild to me. So what people are doing when thinking about technology, when thinking about even school supplies altogether, shopping sales, that's really big right now. Even comparing prices before they hit the stores to see where they can get the best deals. It even goes into buying less. So one thing I'm even doing is shopping at home first, seeing what it is that I can cut back on. If I have those extra 3 or 4 packs of crayons, maybe I don't need to buy crayons this year. So parents are really looking for ways that they can cut back altogether. And when they do have to pull out that card to swipe it, that they're getting the best deal possible.
Yeah, 41% of folks trying to use sales and other means to save money. Do you have any other specific money-saving strategies? I know in some cases, if you price compare and you say, hey, store number 1, store number 2 is offering it cheaper, store number 1 will honor that. I mean, do you have any other thoughts like that to save money?
Yeah, definitely. So price matching is a big one. Definitely going to want to make sure that you do that. Big one altogether is make a list. Make a list before you hit the store. Even just seeing where the best deals are, where you can get the best deals on even pencils and rulers, and then set a budget based off of that. Maybe it's $30, and even seeing if you can get some clearance items after back to school season is over. So most kids are going back to school in August, early September. You may be able to find a few of those clearance items coming in early September, even late September, just to prepare you for the rest of the school year. We're going back to comparing those prices. I know that I bought my son's uniforms from a number of places this year, not just one, but you're going to want to make sure that you're preparing, you're setting that list and those expectations before you hit the store to avoid impulsive purchases, to avoid making sure that you're not overspending and hopefully not landing yourself into debt over school supplies.
Yeah, I like that tip of avoiding impulse spending, especially if your kids are tugging at you saying, I want that, I want that. And it might not be necessary. All right, quickly, last thing I mentioned, I saw in your tips was to buy in phases. What's your advice for that?
Definitely making sure that get what you need to start these first maybe 2 to 3 weeks of school. Contact your kid's teacher and say, hey, what is it that we need to make sure that we have for that first day? And then over time, you may want to look into seeing, well, maybe I can go ahead and buy a few extra notebooks. Maybe now's a good time to get a few extra things to get me through the first semester and even the second semester. So really buying and phasing, shopping clearance, seeing what you can go ahead and leverage now, even seeing if you can meet up with a couple of other parents and split the cost on some of of those bulk items like folders, for example.
Yeah.
Seeing if you can buy those later in the year. You don't need to buy them all right now. Just making sure that you space that spending out just a little bit, especially going into the holidays.
And then it'll lighten that backpack load on the first day of school where kids are, weighed down by these large backpacks. All right, CNET Money editor Daisha Milden, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And